Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? This is your daily financial news. Do me a favor, if you enjoy watching these, hit the subscribe button. I do my best to record these right around 7:30 every day. We do them live, no editing, just read a bunch of stuff and come talk to you. So do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, notification, so you know when they're out. In fairness, I hit 7:30 about 6 times a week, and then usually one day I got to do it earlier or later because I'm bringing you a real estate investor interview. In addition, do me a favor, hit those thumbs up. I love to see getting over 100 thumbs up on these daily financial news. Makes me feel good reading all that material for you. And then lastly, I am going to do a live question and answer session tomorrow at 8 o'clock Pacific. If you have questions about real estate, consumers, cost of capital, things that we cover on this channel, leave a question below in the comments. I will once again review them Friday evening and be ready to rock and roll with you on Saturday, where we go live at 8 and we just go until the questions are exhausted. So hopefully you look forward to that. Another bit of news, if you are an April Crosley fan, she and I will be talking today at 9 o'clock. She is going to record an interview. She'll be interviewing me, so that will probably be coming out in the next couple of weeks. But always appreciate talking to April. If you don't know who she is, I think it's Lazy Girl REI is her YouTube channel. She puts out a lot of great stuff that I watch. So just wanted you to know about that. On to the day's news. As we talked about on Wednesday, if you remember, I said ADP data often misses the mark. And we talked about Friday, would it be a head fake? Would it be a sign of things coming? And I mean, near as I can tell, it was a head fake, right? ADP, as I remember, talked about a disappointing gain. I think it was 167K on an expectation of 1.2. That's from memory, so it's close. But we got roughly 1.8 million, and the unemployment rate fell, I think, from 11.1 to 10.2. So there's a couple of things I want to talk about. First, so thankful it wasn't a negative number. That would have been bad. 1.8 is good news, 10.2 good news, trending in the right direction. There's also another thing that I'll be tracking. They now call it the discouraged or underemployed, right? These are people working part-time that may want to, may want full-time work. That also fell. That went from 18 to 16.5. So again, trends in the right direction. As with every month, there's always people picking at the data. There's this misclassification, this. That's why I talk to you every month and I say ignore the data. Nobody's ever happy with it. Stats are stats. You look for the trend. If you want to pick apart any one piece of data, go nuts. But my history says it's not worth the time because it'll change in 30 days. So let's just keep moving forward. One thing that was good news, at least in my opinion, is 500,000 folks went back to work in the restaurant and bar space. That's good news in my opinion. So very happy to see that. I don't want to think about what happened in the Sun Belt and people may have lost and when was the data sampled. I'm going to take the number at face value and call it a good number, right? We've been talking about it since last Saturday about Friday being a big day. So we had it. One thing that we should acknowledge, admit, understand, is this number was pretty good. And as we all know, the stimulus negotiations, talk, probably got a little harder today. Because I think the Republicans, the deficit hawks, look at this number and probably dig in their heels more. They would have frankly given it up if this was a negative number. They just would have. It would have been we could have had an agreement by close of business today if this was negative 1.8 million, just for example. This was a beat. The market expected 1.4, got 1.8. These folks that are pointing at the deficit going too much, too much, too much, they probably feel more confident today. So while it is good news, it's probably also bad news if what we are looking for is an agreement on at least what most of us think should be an additional stimulus to get us through this year-long health event. I think we're halfway through, but if you only build a bridge halfway and you stop, the drop's pretty big. And we're dancing around the edges right now, and I don't trust anybody in Washington. I don't know why you would. They are... it's an interesting person who becomes a career politician. Definitely need term limits. We need the best to come in for 4 or 8 or maybe 10 years and be done. None of these people being career politicians never have a job and become millionaires on the back of special interest or gifts or whatever the hell they... I mean, how do these people become millionaires, multimillionaires, when they're career politicians? Does that smell right to you? That doesn't smell right to me. Speaking about career politicians who never had a job, our good old friend Bernie Sanders came out yesterday, and he has a bill or an act called Make Billionaires Pay. Good old commie Bernie. Bernie's a communist. I mean, I've avoided saying that while he was running to be a president, but now that he's out of the race, come on, it's obvious. He wants to take from the haves and give to the have-nots. He wants a 60% tax on billionaires' profit that they made, or actually not profit, net worth that was made during this pandemic or this health crisis. What is he thinking? He wants to, I mean, it's not going to go anywhere, so let's not, but just to think that he would put that on paper. Jeff Bezos would lose $42 billion. I think Elon Musk would be like 20, and Facebook guy Zuckerberg would be like 12 or 15 or something. I mean, that's and oh, by the way, you know what that buys us? It buys us a year of out-of-pocket health care. Like, that's what we should fix. That's the thing. Where do you go next year, buddy? What a dimwit. God. I can't believe he's been voted into office so many times. And he's worth like 10 or 12 million bucks, and he's been a career politician, never had a job. Doesn't that smell kind of funny to you? Anyways, you never know what's going on. We definitely have we definitely have a Cold War going on with China. It is definitely going up. It's TikTok and WeChat, 45 days. 45 days, they can be banned in the U.S. This is going to be this generation's Cold War. This is the beginning, not the middle, not the end. When does China come in and say, we're going to shut down Foxconn or whatever it is from building iPhones? I mean, it could happen. It absolutely. And it would happen in a heartbeat. Do you think they're going to give time for Apple to move their stuff out? Hell no. The Communist Party there is going to show up one day with a gazillion army troops and say, sorry, buddy, it's ours. This is going to get interesting, going to get noisy. But just like India, who banned TikTok, I'm guessing TikTok's not an app in the App Store in 45 days. Pretty crazy. I don't know if you saw it, but Uber reported earnings yesterday. Kind of tale of two companies, frankly. Uber, the, taxi company, sucking wind. Uber, the home delivery company, crushing it. I think there's a couple of things that were interesting in there. Is Uber Eats, they bought Postmates, if memory serves, a month ago. So good on them. Again, Uber Eats is where they're generating the profit today. So that looks like a well-timed acquisition. But they also, their vision for Uber Eats is basically Uber delivery, right? They look to be that local delivery vehicle for all kinds of things, groceries and other things. And in addition to that, it looks like they're going to follow Amazon and start building ads on top of Uber Eats, which is going to be a money maker. Think about all the local restaurants, right? Italian, pizza, all these other things. If you have keywords on Uber Eats and you pay them a quarter or a dollar or whatever it is to get your listing higher, man, once you build the platform, Uber Eats, it gets critical mass. Then you add advertising on top of that, man, you will be printing money. Printing money. So that is certainly coming, and shows why you make that investment for a long time, lose money, and come around the corner and just crush it. Don't know if you saw Zillow. Zillow beat top and bottom line. They were up like 15% or something today. They're calling it the great reshuffling, or I'm calling it renters to owners. What we are seeing is exodus from cities to suburbs. We've talked about it for 6 weeks now. We're just now seeing it in evidence. And I still go by the fact that I think the single family home in the suburbs will be proved to be the best asset to own in the next decade. I think high-rise living in big cities is in trouble. I think these big cities have huge tax holes that they will not be able to get out of, and it's going to be ugly. Basically, if I was a trader, I would short New York City and San Francisco, and I would go long beach, lake, suburbs, that kind of stuff. Definitely. I don't know if you saw this, but it looks like the airlines are begging for more money, and at least we look to be open to it. Another $25 billion. At what point do we just stop the nonsense? Let one or two of them go and rebuild later? I mean, too many flights. Just too many flights. And it is crazy that we don't consider that. Luxury, as we've been talking about since the beginning of this health crisis, is going to be a problem. Finally saw some numbers. They're looking at luxury brands like Louis Vuitton and Hermes and all of that stuff to fall at least 40% this year, which could be light in my opinion. But again, there's some of that. And then again, a tech company in the Silicon Valley, one of those cloud-based companies that I've been talking about and getting a lot of heat from folks, saying that it's not as rosy as some of the big techs make it feel. You saw one of those earnings announcements yesterday. Alteryx, Alteryx, they basically do EDIL. It's think Excel for big data. They beat top and bottom line, but they admitted that the future quarters are rough, sales are tough, blah, blah, blah. And their stock is down 25% today. This is what's happening in the Silicon Valley, right? Tech software companies, you got to remember, there are segments of software companies, and I sold for 20 years, that are not buying. You think universities are buying? No. You think healthcare is buying? No. You think most manufacturers are buying? No. It's turned off, folks. Plus, there's that whole mid-market off. So folks that have been pointing out the fact that I might be misinformed or getting the data now, because it is a tough sledding for enterprise software, and it's only going to get tougher from here. So again, just one example. So that's what I got for you today. I was really happy to see the ADP number on Wednesday was a head fake. I'm going to look at the 1.8, which is a beat of 400,000 is a good thing. 500,000 restaurant owners. I'm going to look at it at face value, call it a good day. And I'm not going to nitpick the data. So at the end of the day, it's Friday. I want you to have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. If you want to ask me some questions, leave questions below. I will look at them this evening and be ready to talk to you tomorrow at 8 a.m. at least for an hour, right? If we have an hour of questions, I will go that long. All right, everybody, take care, have fun, have a wonderful day. Bye.